Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here at the Fender Lair with one of my longtime compatriots, brothers in arms, the mighty John Dreyer from Fender Musical Instruments. A Fender survivor, ladies and gentlemen, and that's key to point out.
Yes.
Especially in these uncertain
very
times.
Yes.
I first met Johnny back in 1998, I believe.
98 is correct.
We went on tour together. He was at that time, one of the Roadhouse guys. Describe for us what that was all about, my friend.
My first experience with Fender was as a Fender Roadhouse ambassador.
Fender.
We had a nice big cargo van with a big trailer that when it was folded up, it looked like a big twin Reaver. And one side we had Fender guitars, plenty. The other side was more of a history side. Oh.
Uh-oh. Keep going, keep rolling.
And we rolled around the country. We did a lot of music festivals. I was based out of the West Coast, so I did a lot of sporting events, surfing events, and just rolling up to music stores and doing clinic tours where I met Greg for the first time.
And we toured the South, the bowels of the Southland.
Yes.
We
Met
went
you in Fort Lauderdale.
That's correct, Fort Lauderdale.
Went up through Alabama and Mississippi and
we
Tennessee,
and we had that recording session at Johnny Sandlin's place.
Yes.
Johnny Sandlin, legend. If I can name drop for a moment, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Johnny Sandlin, the Allman Brothers producer, great guy, has a really cool studio. It's like an Allman Brothers shrine.
Yeah.
And his wife cooks feasts that are just unbelievable.
And of course included the feast.
Indeed, because we
cornbread.
must feast.
Yes, homemade cornbread.
And then we had the infamous gig at the place that didn't happen where we almost got killed.
That's
We won't
right,
get into that, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Let's just say you're no longer the man.
Exactly. At one point, I realized I was no longer the man, ladies and gentlemen. And then for many years, you'd come to Milwaukee for Summerfest, and we'd hang out and cause trouble. And then in the past, you've done all the tours down to Mexico and to the factory tours out in
Corona.
In Corona.
In our product education tour, we took 20, 30 dealers, tours of our factories in Ensenada and Corona, a couple days of product training, and rolled out the red carpet and had fun with everybody. Welcomed them into the Fender family for a few days.
But there isn't an official Fender tequila though, is there, or is it kind of?
Yeah, well, officially, Don Julio.
Don Julio seems to be the beverage of choice when south of the border. And my favorite thing about the Mexican facility is that down in Mexico, people eat Mexican food on a daily basis. They just call it food.
It's just food.
And that is delicious, ladies and gentlemen. So what are you doing these days for the Big F? What's happening?
Well, these days, still working on artist clinics with yourself, and we have a team of artists that we sent out to do new product demos around the country and internationally, and here at NAMM show, and doing that as well. This year, 2012, we look forward to a lot more events that we've done in the past, really, probably about 75% more events. We're going to be set up at South by Southwest in March, Lollapalooza in the summertime, Outside Lands Festival up in San Francisco, Bumper Shoot, X Games again.
Bumper Shoots.
Getting back into X Games, New Orleans Jazz Festival.
Oh, that'll be a good one.
Oh yeah, revisit that and just bringing the wares out to everybody. And
So you got some road work ahead of you this year.
yeah, for the last couple of years, I haven't really been traveling that much.
Huh?
And the great struggle.
I wish I could say the same. I've been rambling and gambling but that's all right because you got to take the money and run at all times.
It's good. I love my wife. I love my work in the office in Scottsdale, Arizona. But it's nice to get out every once in a while and visit everybody else.
But I think it's important to contemplate at this particular point in time how often you've been harassed by members of the insect community down in Arizona, the scorpion in particular.
Oh yes, that's growing up in Philadelphia, the scorpion to me was a mythical creature.
Indeed, not a menace.
They don't really exist.
Not a domestic terrorist.
Exactly. So little to my, unfortunately, moving into the new home that I'm in now in Phoenix, day one, we're all moved in, moving trucks are gone, everything's in the house, we're happy, we're celebrating the new home, and I go in the garage, and what's on my wall? But a scorpion.
Scorpion Gulch revisited.
And then for the next few months, we found about one every 2 weeks. And the wintertime is good because they kind of hibernate, or they don't really hibernate, but they just kind of hide and huddle together, huddle masses of
An orgy,
somewhere.
scorpion orgy,
Somewhere in our neighborhood.
a group, if you will.
So I haven't really seen any, lately, but they'll be back. Summertime's coming up, and those.
And that's just about time for you to go out of town and go to one of these favorite festivals.
And my unfortunate wife will have to deal with it by herself.
And she'll go, John! All right, well,
okay,
thank you so much for taking some time out to rap with us here for the folks at Wildwood, and we'll see on down the road, I'm sure, and we will cause trouble someplace at some time.
Absolutely.
Gregory Koch here with John Dreyer, out.